The following podcast may be explicit. One Joe Young presents Adventures from the Shed, a tabletop RPG podcast. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com. And we are recording. Let's see. Hey, yeah, I think that's me. Hey, this is Adventures from the Shed. Welcome back. We're online, and here in what I'm going to call is the shed, which is actually a little, I don't know, 2x3 cell that I'm sitting in. Pretty much is the home base for Adventures from the Shed now. I'm here with part of the Adventures from the Shed cast. Why don't we say hi? Let's start to my left this time, which is the guy whose name starts with a C.
Hey, it's Chris. I am not in a 2x3 shed. This is probably, I don't know, 20 bucks. It's pretty nice up here, actually.
You got a big area, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got the whole bonus room behind me, but I've closed it off with the green screen. So I'm in a dormer above the garage. Right. And who's the other guy that's here?
Oh, I guess that would be me. I'm Jason. Happy to be here. I'm not coming from any large rooms. My room here is maybe about 8 by 8, maybe something like that.
Well, that
not a bad size. Not a bad size.
So here we are. We've started, so we can kind of do a little catch up. One of the things that happens in between for a podcast is you can have a long time in between getting together, which means you end up having to catch up on things that you did before because it's been so long in between. That's part of what we'll be doing today. We'll be catching up a little on what we did. At the time that we're recording this, all of our player introduction podcasts have gone live. So we have Eli's, Jason's, and the one with Chris and Randy are all live now, or at least all available for download. I guess live is a retrospect term in this case.
They're all past.
They are. They're all past. And we're in the present, and this one will be released in the future. So we've got it all covered.
Total time warp.
So those are out. But by the time you hear this podcast or see this episode, you're going to have also seen or heard our session 0, where we first meet our characters and we talk about building them, putting together a little backstory based on all of the information we had shared so far. So all that said, where we are today is picking up from that session 0. So we have our characters. We've determined they're all going to start in Ket. The other thing I wanted to do, Jason, I assume you have the JPEG.
Of the maps? Yes, I have.
Yeah, let's see if you can share that.
Yeah, I can share that for you right here. So let me go ahead here.
Yeah, I just changed the options to let multiple participants share.
So it should be sharing now, hopefully.
Yep. So this is our pretty map, which Jason doesn't want to take a lot of credit for, but regardless of how much the program did the work, Jason still had to put in some parameters, right?
Some, yeah, some.
There you go.
It took me maybe about an hour to put this all together. The program is incarnate. It's very, very user-friendly, especially if you're like me, who's a creative mind, but not good with the fingers and the drawing and like the artistic side of it. It makes it very, very friendly and easy to create maps, and I've been doing more and more with it here. And so, this is Never. And just as a funny side reference, do you happen to have the JPEG I sent you? The little drawing I did to say here? Because I didn't really think about that, but that's going to be a pretty funny side-by-side. We can do the before and after.
I just want to say that I want my guy to live behind the waterfall.
There you go.
Not in this reason. I just want to say that right now before anybody else steals it.
Yeah, before anyone else steals it. That's my house.
That's my cave.
But
take a bath every time I go and leave.
I had the picture in my head of what Never should look like, and Jason was asking me, before we get started, can you send me a sketch? The only thing I had available was my phone. So this is my finger drawing on my iPhone in I think, 2 colors.
Yeah. I mean, I had to take a lot of liberties with, the details and things, but for the most part, I think it came off pretty good. As far as
I don't know if you ever watched Spinal Tap, where he's like, hey, we need this the Stonehenge model. It's like
this is the Stonehenge that was in danger of being trod upon by a dwarf on stage. That's what this is right here.
Yep. So I mean, I saw it and I was like, yep. Okay. All right. This is I can work with this.
Sketch on a napkin.
And the thing is, I wanted to capture how the right side of the map was definitely going to be land, but it hadn't been explored yet, or all maps are lost, whatever the case is. And the left side is water. So I couldn't do that in just portrait mode without doing it sideways and saying north is to the right. So that's actually not Z. Anybody? I'm sure people are familiar with a compass, but that's north. And
hey, in Never, it's a Z, not a.
Yeah, it could have been. I sat and I stared at your drawing for probably about an hour. I contemplated it deeply.
And then you went to Incarnate, clicked import, and poof.
Yep, just bam. That's the magic of the program right there.
That's the artistic interpretation of
all right. But,
of my artistic endeavor.
But Chris already called the waterfall, so his person's from the waterfall. If you want to name it, let me know, and I will.
Yeah, I'll come up with something.
Yeah, if you call it, you've got to name it.
Yeah, you got to name it.
Yeah. But so back to that. Oh, and speaking of which, I kind of remember, Jason, when you sent it to me, Incarnate, it's a K instead of a C, right? It's
Incarnate.
Yeah. All right. Just in case anyone is interested in that.
Highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. It's easy. If Joe or Chris, if you guys ever wanted to log into it, I'll give you guys my login. It's free to use, and you can jump in there. I have all the assets for it and everything. So.
Oh, sure. We'll paste it on the screen with a link for your.
There you go.
That's good. I've got to get more into the editing stuff. I've got to get my Stream Deck set up so I can press buttons and just make things show up. Anyway, that would be fun. But here we are with Never. Can you maximize that again, please?
Yeah, let me go ahead and just reshare just on.
Yeah, just share
there we go.
Photo. There we go. And for those who were listening, watching before, we came up with some names. And the names that we had come up with are ones that we use directly onto the map. So when it comes to the big cities, the Mountains of the Lost, those things are now established. It's important that we keep so much open based on what we had talked about in previous episodes, which is the investment that both the players and the DM get to have in the world. Now, as Chris said, he already claimed something on the map, and that's cool. So we have that opportunity now. Instead of saying, is there some forested area where my elf might have come from? Now we have a nice visual reference where somebody can just say, I want to come from that forested area. I want to come from a deciduous forest, right? But we've got, I really like the way it came out with essentially the different ecosystems and what would be almost obvious different climates, elevation, that kind of thing. Like the lower left, the southwest portion of the map, looks like it's elevated cliffs with still sand beach around, which is pretty darn cool. So we can definitely do something with cliffs at some point. And we can be assured that the big city that's out there has something to do. And we'll have to establish what that is. So Jason's going to be our map maintainer. Cartographer, I love using the word cartographer, but this is like explored. It's you drew the map already. You're done with that. Now you get to be the maintainer.
Yep. And again, it's something I've always enjoyed doing. I have about 40 or 50 maps I've drawn up for the different things that I've planned out as a DM and everything. And over the break that we've had from the last time, this Ashfell was never a part of the map. It wasn't part of the world when I first originally put it out there. But then Randy, he's like, hey, I would really like to have it if my village was here in this kind of area. And bam, now it's there. So the cool things that they come up with now for Dungeons and Dragons to support DMs and players as far as immersion and creating these kind of things is really awesome. It really is.
That's very cool. It looks like Chris got interrupted there a little.
Yeah, I saw my VPN disconnect and reconnect. It's kind of weird.
That's crazy talk.
They must be onto me.
That's it. They finally traced it back through the 7 different points.
Yeah, I'm in trouble now.
Yeah. So let's Yeah, as I just wanted to make another mention, repeat kind of what Jason just said, that this is a live world, that in between when we have conversations, we exchanged messages, emails as a group. Uh, I don't think we had any side conversations this time. In between, everything was as a group. And because of that, we all knew that Randy said, well, now that I've seen the map, can you put my hometown up there? And that's where it ended up. And it's very easy, apparently, for Jason to do that, but it's also very easy for us now to recognize. So, like, there might be a comment from some character, like, you're from the north, right? Because now we know that is the north. And we are all the way on the east, and Malagar is down to the south. The other thing I hadn't really thought that much about was, as a port city, I'm going to have to think of some more stuff, because we didn't really talk about um, water stuff at all. But Malagar's right in that little, oh gosh, I got peninsula stuck in my head. It's the reverse. It's the water in the middle. I don't think that's a gulf. Is it Inuit or something? No, that's not right.
Inlet?
All right.
Is that what you're thinking about?
Inlet is probably it. Inuit. Isn't that the Alaskans?
Yes.
Inuit is Alaskans.
Yeah.
You're correct.
Wow. The hell am I doing? But we have that. So we have all these pieces that help us establish where we are, what we're doing, and what kind of history we can have.
And that was your fault, Joe, for putting Malagar on the coast right there. Because according to your drawing, the little circle is right on the line. And I was like, all right, it's a port city.
It's highly accurate, and then you nailed it. You can almost still see the little circle there that I drew.
Yeah.
No.
That's why it's a circular city. It's got a nice little ring to it.
Yeah, there we go. So, all right, let's go ahead and put the map away for now, if you don't mind. Okay. And we can start talking more about the characters. So let's go back to, we'll start with the Guardian of the Universe, Abraxas.
Yes.
And I have the characters up in my browser, so I can look at them as well. I won't share the screen unless we feel like it's going to be useful at some point, which it might. It might be good to take a quick look when we start some dice rolls. But in the meantime, Chris, if you want to go ahead and re-describe Abraxas to the best of your memory, because what I'm going to do now is, while we're kind of waiting for Eli, I'm going to have you two guys sitting in the same place eating, we're going to say lunch. Let me see if I can remember. Nope, that's not the right note.
Too many notes. Too many.
Yeah, it's the session 0 note that I need to open, not the other one.
I know. I was almost going to have you get me a pre-release of the recording when we were talking about our characters. Kind of like, oh, what did I say I was going to make this guy be? You know, and what the other players' back histories I want to try to like take in and maybe use for parts of how I can work mine out, things like that.
Yep.
I remember enough pieces, hopefully, you know.
So we're in the city of Ket, and the you guys are sitting at the local tavern, and I don't have a name for that yet. Do either of you want to?
I had in my notes, for whatever reason, it was called the Get Lit Tavern.
Oh, why don't I have that? Well, that's what it is now, or that's what it is again.
Or was that one of the? Was that Randy's character's old?
No, Randy's bar was the Stay Inn.
That's right.
The Goblin Inn.
Yep. It changed to the Gobble Inn. Yeah.
Gobble Inn, yeah.
But all right, so we're at the Get Lit Tavern. The sign outside just has almost like a candelabra, and some of the flames are lit, and you can see somebody. It's like the sign has a hand reaching to light another one, and that, as well as 2 tankards just clanging together right above that. So inside, it is all woodwork. There's like not a stone or iron piece to be seen anywhere. Everything is made out of wood. There's a little bit of glass here and there, but the tables and the chairs are nice, hardy, thick pieces of wood, and they're immaculate. The tables and chairs are like super clean. When you walk on the floor, your feet stick like there's a year of beer on it. So you have that sound as you're walking, and it's like they just don't clean the floor, but everything else it's like really clean, and within the place is a very warm aroma of like yeast and baking, as well as mead. So you two are sitting in there. Now I want to let you guys decide. Are you sitting together? Are you having a conversation? Or are you about to meet?
I want to be sitting alone at a table by myself with a pile of scrolls unraveled. I'm just kind of going through them, trying to figure out what I'm looking at. As I have this huge, like, stogie, this huge cigar. It's almost like a torch in my mouth. And I'm just chewing on it. Every once in a while it goes out, and I just like breathe a little bit of fire on it to relight it. And I'm like deep in thought, like I'm confused at what I'm looking at. This huge pile of scrolls and maps and things like that.
Okay, cool. So you drink alone with nobody else.
Well, unless somebody's buying me some meat, I'm all about that.
All right. So a quick description of what Bell sees when he looks over at your table.
Yeah.
The character. Now I saw what the table looks like, but remind us of what the Dragonborn Abraxas would look like. Would he have a hood pulled over or anything like that while he's there?
No, he's got his excuse me. His hood. He does have a cloak, but he doesn't have it on because he's obviously smoking and trying to get a good view of his maps, his pile of maps, and he's a gold dragonborn, so he looks like a humanoid gold dragon, but he's larger than most. Like a lot of those guys are like over 6 foot easy and maybe almost 300 some pounds. He's 7 foot, like 420 pounds. He's like a really big dude. He's
so he was probably surprised when the chair didn't creak when he sat on it.
Yeah, this place is awesome.
Sturdy.
Yeah, this place is legit. So he's just enjoying a drink and looking over his pile of maps.
Okay.
Like he's lost in thought.
All right. So Bell, now you've got a little bit of a view of what you see looking. I don't know. Maybe you have to stand on your toes to look over the table, but whatever it is you're doing.
All right, so Bell is over by the bar area, dressed in a respectable-looking cloak, and is twirling a coin through his fingers. He's right now currently trying to talk to the bartender to see if he can get some information about anybody who would have any details or maps or any kind of information about the Mountains of the Lost, as far as where he might want to go. Something he can compare to his own personal maps that he has.
So let's say your conversation's been going on for a few minutes, and clearly he's reading from the "here's what I tell adventurers" thing that he's come up with, and he's just on a script of that there are no real maps to the east of Ket. There are mountains, but we can see those. There are no maps of what's on the other side. And within the sphere of what he talks about in there is, so there was a couple of adventurers here last week who said they were going to go conquer the wilderness. And as far as he knows, nobody's heard from them since. They are just the last in a long line of adventurers that have not found their way back to civilization once going through the Mountains of the Lost. But it's all very, like I say, it's almost a script that he's saying because he probably gets asked enough. You don't get anything specific, let's say. He's got the rehearsed answer. He's more interested in telling you about the new mugs that just came in from the potter. Right.
Okay. Bell, a little bit disappointed at some of the information, simply just puts down a copper and is looking around and up on the stool again, because Bell's only about 2 feet 11 inches.
Yeah.
Scans the room and maybe notices that dragon over there with a few maps in his possession.
And these are big round tables, like I don't know, maybe 8 feet edge to edge. It's a big table, like the kind of table that you can't reach the person that's sitting across from you.
Yeah, Bell look over to the bartender and go, so that dragon guy over there, what can you tell me about him?
Well, he's been here for Oh, I don't know. It feels like hours. He's just sitting there mumbling about this doesn't make sense, and he keeps shuffling those papers around, and I'm not sure what to make of them. But he's been drinking, so
Yeah, every once in a while I'll get up and walk around the table, flip a map, look like I'm frustrated, sit down, sit and think, relight this big cigar. Looks like a torch hanging out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and the bartender says he's bigger than most that have gone on to their, doom. And I think, who knows, maybe he'll come back, but I doubt it.
Okay.
I got two people waiting to get in here. I have to click it. See, this is what happens when you put that window in the background. Dang it. We're going to do a quick redescription of that when we have Eli. I'm surprised I didn't get a Facebook message. That, I think, is a candle.
No, I think that's his forehead next to the candle. Oh, there we go.
There's an Eli.
I thought it was two candles.
Guys, Eli and Randy, I apologize. I put the window in the background while I was typing notes. I have no idea how long you've been waiting.
No, just a few minutes. Nothing.
I wish it hadn't been a few minutes because we were just starting some descriptions. I did a good deal of stalling while we were waiting, just redescribing stuff and how we're playing. But now that you guys are here, why don't you go ahead and say hi? Eli, you can go first.
Hola.
See, you can't say what I said. No, that's good. Hola. I like, by the way, we've got this look to the side with the window behind you this time. It's kind of a dramatic look. Not quite as dramatic as an eclipse behind your head.
Did you pull the shades from him?
Unfortunately, my webcam got moved, and I forgot how I set it up the last time. So this is how I look right now.
That's cool. And the other new guy, the guy who's in the interrogation room.
I'm Randy, and I was not there that day.
The numbers, Mason. What do they mean?
I'm not even supposed to be here today.
Good to see you guys.
Cool. Yeah, and welcome back. So let me just give you a quick update on where we are. I spent a couple of minutes probably, again, trying to stall for some time, but we kind of reintroduced Abraxas, Chris's character, and let me give you a quick recap of where you guys are. I've got to click back to the note that hid your invites or your waiting. So you guys are in the city of Ket. Everybody is right now between Randy, your character, and Eli's character. You're not in this tavern yet. The name of the tavern is the Get Lit Tavern. Jason reminded me of that. But you've been in there before. Maybe you already have a room there and that's where you're staying. I'll leave that up to you. But a quick description, the place inside is all wood. You can't find stone or iron anywhere. There's a little bit of glass here or there, like the windows and there's some actual glasses, cups. But it's all wood and it's all very sturdy, very thick, and very clean. Although the tables and chairs and the bar top and the walls, everything is like extremely clean wood. However, it seems like they don't care about the floor. And when you walk, it's like last year's beer is still on the floor. You get that sticky sound as you lift your feet as you're walking across. And the place always smells of something baking and brewing. So you get this, this yeast and hops and all these different smells all the time. And they usually have a different, like a daily bread that they make themselves, which is today is the pine nut bread. But I'm sure Abraxas has probably had some of that by now, because what we have is
couple loaves.
A bread. He'll be pinching them off later. Abraxas is sitting at a table, and if you guys don't mind, I'm just going to do the quick recap, and you guys can redescribe what you're doing. But he's sitting at the table. He's got a bunch of scrolls and maps and stuff around him. He's looking frustrated, confused with the stuff that's there. Belle is at the bar, or had been at the bar, talking with the bartender, trying to get some information about what's on the other side of the Mountains of the Lost, and really just got a boilerplate answer. Apparently the bartender always tells people nobody's been back. About the only thing that might have been significant, which I did call out, was a couple of weeks ago there was a couple of adventurers, or about a week ago or so, there was a couple of adventurers that said they were going to go conquer the Mountains of the Lost, and nobody's heard from them since, as far as he knows. And we left it with Belle was just about to go over and see this dragonborn at the table who's got all these maps and scrolls figured out or splayed about on the table. The one thing I want Eli and Randy, you to think of is your characters are about to enter the Get Lit Tavern, or maybe you're in your room at the Get Lit Tavern and about to come down into the eating area for lunch. So decide how you're going to enter, and what you will see is the halfling and the dragonborn interacting as you're about to hear from Jason and Chris.
Will do.
All right,
Jason,
so Belle is going to ask the bartender real quick. So he's been here for a while. Does he have a favorite drink or anything that he's been ordering?
Oh gosh, what
Do they have anything besides mead?
Yeah, what I mean, they make a couple of custom drinks there that they've given special names to. Would Abraxas be as corny as to order something with dragon in the name?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so he's drinking the Flaming Dragon.
Yes.
Flaming Dragon.
And it is
right.
some kind of mix of something brewed with like a crap ton of cinnamon. Think today's Fireball.
Yes.
It's that kind of thing, but it's the Flaming Dragon.
All right. I'll look at the bartender and go, okay, can I get your largest mug of that, please?
Did anybody here see the So I Married an Axe Murderer?
No.
Yeah, so when he orders the small cappuccino and he gets this, like, it was bigger than a soup bowl, a salad thing, the bartender goes and grabs what you thought at first was a novelty stein, and he brings it over, holds it with two hands, fills it up. You see him mixing like half a gallon of stuff into this stein, and he finishes it with that little. He takes a light from a nearby candle, and there's this poof of light, flame off of the top, and he said, "Well, there you go." And the mug that you have is probably half your height.
Oh, well,
yeah.
That is quality drink. Okay. Bell's going to do his best to take it and get down off of the bar stool that he's on and carry it over to the dragon, who's looking very flustered.
Just to put it in some perspective, if we were in a situation where this mattered, you'd be doing a strength check to move this thing.
Just dragging it across the floor.
Yeah.
Bell just puts it on the floor after a few minutes and just is now pushing it across the sticky floor, probably picking up some of the grossness on like the cup of on the edge of the cup.
Appetizer right there. Right. Turn this thing to a Bloody Mary, put some bacon in there and stuff.
Yeah. Trying to be as cool as possible, pushing it all the way up to the thing and going, that's a little heavier. The dragon, hello. Name's Waffle. LG Waffle. Mind if I sit next to you here?
So Abraxas looks around like somebody
and I tug on his clothing, like no, down here, down.
Because what are you, about a two footer? I think maybe
2'11", 2 feet 11.
I didn't see
he
you down
puts
there.
The lifts on to get 3 feet.
Yeah, I'm behind the mug right now. Is where I'm at. I'm just behind the floor.
That's quite impressive if you could handle that yourself.
Oh yeah. No, I brought this over here. You look like you were having a rough time, and I figured maybe we could share a gut pin. I'm gonna try to pick it up and put it on the table.
Let me get that for you. I don't even let him get like if I pull him with the drink onto the table. Perfect.
Yeah, there's plenty of room left on the handle for you to grab it.
Yeah, I grab onto it and I'll sit down. I'll stand on the table with the mug.
You go.
I appreciate it. What can I do for you?
Of course. Well, I don't know about you, or if you know, I'm kind of on a. And I open my robe a little bit, and there's a little badge from the Order of the Eternal Ring on there. I just flash real quick, and I go, I'm kind of looking for people who might know a thing or two about the Mountains of the Lost, and rumor has it that you might have some information. I see you got a lot of papers. It looks like some maps as I'm standing on them here on the table.
Well, that's the problem. Every map I look to, no information. They all end the same spot. Everything, details. On to the lost, nothing. I can't find anything. It's frustrating. I have piles of notes, piles of maps, nothing.
I'm sorry, I didn't get your name, by the way. Again, my name is Bell.
Bell, Abraxas.
Abraxas. All right. What are you? What's your interest in the Mountains of the Lost? If you don't mind my asking.
Well, I'm a fan of maps, as you can see. I want to be the first to map it.
Oh, okay. Have you ever been this far, far east or west?
Actually,
west
no.
or
This
east?
is the first time I'm in. Yes, this is the first time in Kent for me.
First.
Although it's nice, it's very, very sturdy furniture for someone.
Oh yeah, no, very sturdy. Little sticky floors.
Well, I'm kind of used to that.
Just a little sticky. I'm used to maybe a little bit finer things, but I mean, are you planning
nice for my scaly skin.
Are you planning on venturing into the mountains, or are you just planning on maybe doing some surveys down here, gathering more stuff? You look like you might be of an intellect, and I'm just trying to see if you are a researcher.
I appreciate that you think so, but
you got a big head. I imagine with a big head, you have a large brain.
It's full of crazy ideas, perhaps. Not so much on the smarts, but no, I would. I'm just trying to get as much information as I can before I go.
Okay.
Now let me interject. I'll interject for a moment. Remember, Eli and Randy. At any point here, your character is already walked in to the room and is already listening to this conversation. And what we'll want from you, you decide when you're going to interject, when you're going to come in, and just go for it. Right in the middle of whatever. Hey, I heard your
Yeah, they were just such on a roll. It's like hard to interject.
It's beautiful. I was living for it.
I'm taking my regular size mug and I'm putting it into the big one and getting some out of there. This is going on.
As a matter of fact,
if you guys were in there before, you probably also thought this was a novelty mug. You were surprised that it's over there.
As a matter of fact, Erithnes is already in the room and he has just taken a seat at the table, quietly gotten himself an apple cordial, and is just listening to the conversation because they're making no effort to keep quiet, and this is just hilarious.
Now, the other thing I mentioned was these tables are big, round, sturdy wooden tables. It's about like 8 feet side to side. Well, if you're sitting on one side, you can't reach the person on the other side. It's a big, sturdy table. So would you have sat farther back and just listened? Because what I want to give to Chris and Jason is what Bell and Abraxas notice when they finally look out of the corner of their eye and see you there.
Erithnes would have taken up probably the other end of the table and just waited to see if they acknowledged him at all. It's just honestly hilarious to watch these two interact.
Are you at the same table with us? Just on the other end?
Yes.
Oh. It's what, 8 foot? It's pretty big.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is he with you?
I turned back. I did not. That's surprising. Usually, I'm very perceptive as far as what I see. I move my butt out of what would probably be in Erithnes's face because I'm standing on the table between them, and I'm like, "Hello, stranger. Anything that we're saying catch your interest?" And as I say this, I'm cautious because he's been watching us.
Let's see if he drinks the flaming dragon first. Then we'll know.
Yes.
We'll know if we can trust him then.
I don't know if that's the best form of trust, but I mean, sure. Sure.
Trust me.
Okay. All right. Join us in a drink, please.
Absolutely. If I'm taking some of yours, it's only fair if you take some of mine. And I'll pass Abraxas my apple cordial.
So you guys start taking your drinks, and all of a sudden you hear the door just burst open. Hey, bartender! Oh, wait, adventurers! Just the kind of people I'm looking for. Hi, everybody. My name is Miles. Nice to meet you all.
I just got the picture of Dr. Nick from The Simpsons. Hi, everybody!
More flaming dragons this way, bartender.
I'll just have another apple cordial.
And that apple.
You saw that we were adventurers right off the bat. So that tells me that you have an acute perception, my friend. Please
yes.
join us.
I've seen plenty of adventures in my day. I've had plenty of missions in my own inn. Loss of an inn, sorry to speak. So I've seen plenty of maps and whatnot and sent people on many an adventure. So I have a good eye for this kind of thing.
I see. And what brings you to this town? Just adventure, or here for something else? Maybe something more sinister?
I'm just looking to make some coin, looking for some grand adventure, and maybe make some friends along the way. Trying to rebuild what I've lost.
Oh, well, what have you lost?
I lost my business all around. I had my own inn. I had a business with my sons, a wagon company, and that was all taken from me, unfortunately.
Oh my
Sounds
goodness,
like you
your
might
sons
lose your
were taken
voice
from
soon.
you.
I'm sorry, Mr. Lizard. What was that?
It's a
Mr.
Braxton.
Lizard.
I'll let it slide this time.
Braxis, Miles, nice to meet you.
Shake his hand.
No,
Flaming
Braxis,
Dragon?
like abrasive. Huh.
Yeah, there's plenty of flaming dragon here, and a dip
Let me
of the
heat
mug
that up
into
for
the,
you.
to the thing. Hand it over to you.
Oh, thank you.
But you lost your business and your sons too. I mean, that seems pretty harsh.
The sons are still alive. One's kind of in the military right now. The other one,
okay.
I don't know what he's off doing. He was running the carts. He probably is still working for that scum of a area kingdom Malagar.
Yeah,
That I have a map to right here, and I go pick it up.
Oh, you don't have to show me a map of that town.
As an interesting side note here, Abraxas's map is a little dated, if you will, and it still shows the inn as the stand-in.
Hey, there's my baby right there. Of course, now it's the Gobble Inn.
I've been to neither.
Well,
I
if I
think,
can get it, I'll go ahead and treat you to a room and all the food and drinks you need.
Well, I just recently came
It'll
from
be kinda
Malagar, and that place is swimming with corruption, I think. And I'm sorry to hear that you are on hard times, my friend.
Some of the worst of the worst. I'm sorry if you had to deal with any of them yourselves.
Oh no, I dealt with them. I dealt with them pretty handily. And again, I'll flash my badge real quick. I handled my business pretty well.
Oh.
What about you there, quiet man with the apple cordial?
Honestly, I'm right here, right now, enjoying the conversation.
Oh,
I'm here much the same as Miles. Gold, stories, adventure.
Oh,
I don't think we
okay.
got your name.
Yes, we did not.
Earthness Siegfried.
Earthness Siegfried. Okay. And you're here, I mean, any particular reason why you're on an adventure, Mr. Earthnissus?
Just Earthness. Earthnissus was my father.
Oh.
What would you say when something was his? It was Erethniss's?
That's pretty good.
Earthnisses.
Yeah.
How many apostrophes are in that?
Not enough. I'm trying to raise up gold to set my family well off. I had my first son 2 years ago. And
very
unlike
nice.
most of the people in my family, he started, well, slinging spells. Can't even speak. There's promise in this one. I want to make sure I can send him to the best college I can.
Okay, all right. Well, colleges are expensive from what I hear.
Yeah, they are.
So,
As a matter of fact,
I was about to talk to the barkeep here. Where are you guys heading?
You see this map here? See where it ends? All these maps, see where they end? Always Mountains of the Lost, Mountains of the Lost, Mountains of the Lost. My question is, does anybody know anything about this supposed guard tower up there?
I know it exists.
I had at least that much.
This morning was actually one of the clear days where you could gaze up and see it as the morning mist and fog was cleared by the nice bright sun. You could actually see up to that. And what people have told you is like the guard tower with the naked eye is tiny. And you've seen what has been pointed out to you. Yeah.
at this point here, Bell will look around the bars to make sure there's no more people who are watching because obviously Bell didn't see everybody before, and is going to bring them all closer and be like, well, I don't know if you all are aware of this, but I'm from a special organization, and I just so happen to have in my possession perhaps the only known map of the Mountains of the Lost and what's beyond.
Well, now you've piqued my interest. Go
Tell
on.
us more.
Bell will pull open a very, very worn-looking journal. It's leather-bound. It's got a cog and looks like 3 swords on the cover of it, and they look like they're very worn. It's been opened many times. And very discreetly will look around and go, oh, yeah, no, we're just having fun, drinking some, some ale, and then just put it out on the table. Joe, would you like me to show them the map? The journal?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, let's do that. And while you're doing that, because you made that note of looking around, there are others, but they look like locals, and they're just treating you as another set of people that's about to go off and die.
Fair.
Yeah.
There you go.
So Bell unrolls and unfolds and puts a note of this map on the table for you.
Hmm.
Huh.
Now,
So-
I must tell you all something. The fact that I've shared this information with you, I must warn you all, if you try to do anything with it, the Order of the Eternal Ring has 0 tolerance for betrayal or traitors. And I just do this to all of them.
Nice.
I'm not worried about any rings.
It is the one eternal ring.
Yeah.
So, how do you guys want to react to that?
How valid are these encampments listed here?
Although this comes from some of the most respected historians and archivists from the Order of the Eternal Ring. Let me tell you, I have volumes of their material, and it's never steered me wrong yet.
When was this map last updated? Is this current?
My grandfather gave me the map, and he was definitely hot on the trail of some things.
Did he make the map?
No, he got this from one of the agents within the system.
So what you're saying, if I'm understanding correctly, is it's an old map.
And he got it from a guy who knows a guy.
Mm-hmm.
This sounds
reliable? Question mark.
Well, it's better than what I got.
I mean, if you get, I'm just willing to share my information. I'm looking for some people to maybe head up the mountains, and if you want to come back alive, maybe you take some of the information seriously.
You know what, gentlemen? This is all we've got. I think we can trust this guy. Sorry, Miles.
Bell G. Waffle.
Oh, hi, Mr. Waffle.
Waffle.
Oh, Waffle.
Waffle, yes.
Waffle.
And I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name, silent, solemn man in the corner?
Oh, Siegfried.
Siegfried. Is his name.
Erithmus Siegfried. If
Can I
we're
call
going,
you?
no,
Can I call you Big E?
no. Nicknames are earned.
Ah,
True.
so you just call them earned now. That's good.
Okay. Okay.
I still earn.
Huh.
If we are going to take this seriously and join together to venture beyond the mountains of the lost, I think we should gain a better understanding of each other and our skill sets. I'll start, if it makes everyone comfortable.
I'm on my second mug now.
I'm still finishing my first.
And this is one of the times where I'll tell you, unless you are seeking to get inebriated, there won't be any rolls. And if you want to pretend drunk, go for it. At this point, it's just a social interaction. There's no need to do any rolling unless you want to. Unless you want to see if something weird happens.
Nope.
Is my flagon of a dragon?
It is of two dragons chasing each other around it. It's actually very well done. It's one of the reasons why the barkeep actually would prefer to talk about his mugs, his custom-made mugs from the local potter, than talking about this whole Mountains of the Lost crap.
I'm glad he's passionate about
Will he
something.
let me take this flagon over the mountains? No, maybe.
Huh. If you leave him a deposit.
It's a good, marketing firm.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
It does have the emblem of the inn on it as well.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
I think he said it was about lunchtime.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you guys are in there for lunch.
Nice. So my experience has mostly been bodyguard work for some nobles, escorting caravans. I could best be described as a sellsword. Axe and shield, great sword, chainmail. That's my basic kit.
Is he in there for lunch fully armed?
No. Okay. I'm in casual clothes, just
curious.
enjoying my fairly sweet drink.
Nice.
Because I'm a man and I can.
It's got a pretty little umbrella in it.
I'm keeping the umbrella.
There you go.
If the barkeep will let me.
Yeah, sure.
What's an umbrella for?
It's advertising.
You never know when we'll come across a pixie on the way, and they need to keep dry.
Or belt. You could keep half of them dry, I'm sure.
Probably, at least.
Okay.
That's about all there is to me.
So were you hauling carts for the Malagar Trade Association?
No, I never did any of the hauling. I just made sure bandits and monsters stayed away.
Well, did you keep an eye on their trade services?
No, for the most part.
What do you mean by monsters?
Does it walk on 2 legs? It's a person. Does it walk on 4? It's a monster. As far as my job was concerned, anyways.
Nice.
What if a bear stood up on 2 legs and attacked you?
Well, then I would have to fight him in mutual combat.
But would he be a monster?
In that moment, he'd be a person, and I would have to fight him on his terms.
Like a... Oh, okay.
Usually, they don't give me time to get out of my armor.
Nice. Are you as furry as a bear under the armor?
My character or me?
Go ahead. I think we're mainly speaking of Earthness at this time. Earthness.
Oh, I mean, he's decently hairy.
Okay. I'm picturing it while you're talking about fighting a bear as a man. Not you as a man, but the bear as a man, and trying to do it on his terms, but you didn't have a chance to take the armor off. Were you going for, fur guy on fur guy, as it were? I think I saw that movie. Ew.
I think I was one of the extras in that.
Nice.
Well, what about you? Abraxas, was it?
Yes. What did you want to know?
Where do your skills lie?
Well, I'm big, so I'm good at smashing through things, but I don't really lead with that. Obviously, I'm not human, so I have certain inborn skills. As I light my stove again with a little bit of breath, flaming breath.
Yeah, it's one thing that they missed with the description. Chris, describe that again.
Say again?
The cigar. Describe that again, because
right. So it's a cigar, but it's almost like a small. It would be like a torch to you guys. That's how big it is. So I have trouble keeping it lit. So I'm always, breathing on it, the little flame to get it going. I'm mostly chewing on it though. I'm barely smoking it. Just kind of like sits in my mouth and ashes hit the table, partially burning my mouth. It's frustrating me more as I go. And I have
not hitting the drink, right? The flaming dragon.
I'll just drink it.
Suck the ashes flavor off the top.
Yes,
yeah, there you go.
That.
It's charred flaming dragon.
Yes.
Yummy.
And is Abraxas wearing armor right now, or is it just leather?
No, yeah, I have chainmail on.
Dragon wearing more armor. Don't you have natural scales?
Every little bit helps.
Amen
I'll drink to that.
I'm into that.
Feels good on my sensitive skin.
I'll also drink to that.
Drink.
Praxis
Bartender,
has
more
sensitive
flaming
skin.
dragons. The little one is paying, right?
Yeah, absolutely. No problem with
he's
that.
got some fancy stuff.
At all. What about you there, Mr. Miles?
Well, as a former innkeeper now, that was what I've been doing for a while, but I can strike up a chord, play a lovely tune on a flute, or bang a drum if necessary. I'm pretty good with almost any instrument except the singing part. Unless you need a nice baritone.
Was there more to that?
There could be, if there's some coin involved.
I toss him a copper piece. Yeah, that's about what I paid for.
You get what you pay for.
1 copper, 1 crappy song.
I got my money's worth.
Cool. So
is that all? Instruments? Any survival skills, spellcraft, combat experience?
I'm pretty good with a sword. I'm thinking about fancying a bow if I can get one later down the road, but for now, I'll back you guys up with some musical inspiration and a little slice and dice.
If you need an emergency bow, animal intestine, use walking stick, ash walking stick, oak, it all works.
Nice.
I'll keep that in mind.
Cool.
Last of the bunch. Waffle.
Yes, Waffle. Bell G. Waffle. I am an international half man of mystery, is what I like to call myself. Known far and wide for various exploits, although you might have heard of some of the things I have done. Truth be told, you probably don't know that it was me who did it, because I am just that damn good when it comes down to it. Yeah, I think that's all I want to let you know about me so far. But it seems like we have a good crew with your bronze and your baritone in my brains. I think that we could potentially make a good team and make our way over the mountains.
Bronze, a baritone, and a brain walk into a bar. I don't know why that setup sounds so good to me.
The brain turns around and goes, "Why are you guys on the floor?"
All those flaming dragons.
Just as a side note here, one of the things that I look for, and Chris and Randy will be familiar with this, is during a session when we're together, I try to listen for things that I think would make good session titles. So this episode will be named Brawn, Baritone, and Brain.
The 4 Bs.
Perfect.
You got it all together.
That could be the adventuring party name, the 4 Bs.
No, it's just four Bs, just the letter B 4 times.
Cool.
But I do come from Marillis, and they are known for their entertainment. So, Miles, I think me and you could get along very well when it comes down to a little bit of theater.
I'm easy to get along with, and if you're into theater, then we're definitely going to get along.
Oh, yes. All right. So, my fellow group of intrepid adventurers, does anybody need anything before we make our daring quest towards the Mountains of the Lost, or?
I say another round of flaming dragons.
I mean, we have got more than 3/4 of the tankard left here. I don't know if we need another round, especially since I'm paying for it. Not saying that I don't have the money, but I'm just saying let's just maybe go through what we have first.
I recommend us getting a meal before we leave with all this alcohol.
All this alcohol, what?
If you drink it with the ashes in it, there's some other, more solid
Very
content.
flavorful.
Yeah,
Look at all the stuff on the floor.
You get your
Scrape your
protein
hand
and
on the
minerals
floor.
from the ashes.
It's the blackened flaming dragon.
Yes, Cajun style.
Cajun style. There you go. Yeah, and that brings up a good point. This would be a good time for each character to assess their personal inventory for their adventure and see if there's anything that you'd like to gather from the local general store, maybe blacksmith or leatherworker, somebody around. You got all the basics around. The place is mainly known for catering to adventurers, so you've got that going for you.
How cold is it, DM, at the Mountains of the Lost here as we're going up into them here?
As you ascend, you can expect a 20-degree temperature drop. And I don't remember if we established, but just for the sake of it, let's say we're in the springtime and your regular days are between 60 and 70.
Okay. All right. So it might get a little frosty up on the mountain, just a little bit. I might need to go and I don't have the mass of some of you here. I might have to go and get a few warmer items potentially.
Yeah, same. And I'm lacking in rations and funds, so I might perform in this bar, and try to make some extra cash.
Oh yes. It looks very lively. Is it lively right now?
Right now, you guys are the entertainment, so no, it's not. It's not particularly lively outside of your table, but your table's interesting.
Slow lunch day.
Yeah.
A barkeep. When does business usually pick up around here?
Usually around dinner time, people will show up, and then pretty much till the wee hours of the morning, till the locals stagger their way home.
Is there any other place that my handsome bard friend here might be able to do a performance?
Oh, too kind.
Well, because you said he's handsome, I suppose he could perform here tonight if he's going to be around. You got a demo tape?
A mixtape.
Do you have any
self-respecting bard would have a demo tape. Show him the demo tape.
Does Miles have an instrument with him?
He probably keeps them on him the whole entire time. So they're just kind of strapped to his back.
For the sake of this, you will perform whatever you want. You describe it good enough that he's going to hire you. But what we'll do later is roll to see how impressed the patrons were with you. And we don't have to play out the whole thing, but for now, you describe what you do to entertain the bartender to get him to put you on for the night.
So he's going to pull out his flute and he's just going to kind of flip it one time, catch it, and then just start playing a few notes. And kind of just jump on the table, I guess.
So it's a jaunty tavern tune that you play.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what it's going to be.
All right.
So then upbeat.
And you actually get a grin out of him, and he says, "All right, that'll be enough. Go ahead. You'll be back here around, I don't know, 5 o'clock or so."
Too kind. Will do.
You're right. I am. He's just a very cordial guy, but it's like everything he does that you've seen is business. The only time he strays from talking about just flat business is when he talks about the mugs or the bar. You got a little grin out of him because he knows his bar is probably going to make a little extra money with people drinking tonight.
Yeah.
Others, so Miles is going to earn some coin, and others are going to do what? Eli, let's go with Arithnis.
Arithnis is going to spend the day limbering up, doing stretches, making sure that his equipment is in proper order, well oiled, nothing is damaged. If it needs minor repairs, he'll do that. It's more just like hyping himself up for the next few days.
Okay. So being that this little town caters to adventurers, there's actually a spot towards the eastern edge of town where there are training practice dummies and a little archery range. So if you wanted, you could actually go work out at the gym.
Tempting, but nothing can stop these guns. Yeah, no, he's just he's just going to maintain his gear and make sure that everything is good to go at a moment's notice.
Cool. Now, are any of the characters staying at this inn, or have you just arrived today?
I'll say the
definitely staying
Aerithnes
here.
is staying.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say that I probably just arrived and encasing the place.
Okay.
I just arrived as well.
All right. So those who are staying there, you have a room that you can go to. Those who are not, I don't know if you expect to adventure later tonight or if you'll get a room and start off fresh in the morning. Pick that. And then let's go to Abraxas. Once he's done getting frustrated with his scrolls and this little party at the table starts to break up, what does he go off and do for the day?
But I want to study the map that Bell has. Actually, Jason, can you send it to the rest of the group?
I can send that to him.
So I definitely want to study that for a while. And then I want to go to the gym and make sure my crossbow's in working order, things like that.
Cool. All right.
And then I'll check out the show later back at the tavern and stuff. Miles.
Yep. Good. What would, aside from sharing a file, what would Bell be up to?
Well, Bell is still looking around and trying to get some information. I think Bell would most likely take some time to head to the general store, make sure that he has at least a decent jacket since he's smaller and gets cold a little bit easier. And then maybe ask around just a few other people and see if they know anything about the group that just left, which way they went. That way he can maybe look at the map and see where they left and where a good starting spot might be.
Okay. While I'm putting down some notes, what would Miles be up to before the show?
With his one fresh copper he just got, he doesn't think he can get too much, so he's going to camp out somewhere down the road and start playing his lute for a bit, trying to make a little bit of more coins so he can buy some gear.
Okay.
And
So
how much was the Flaming Dragon, the giant drink?
It was. I'm trying to think because we really haven't established how important money is yet, and for my purposes, you get all of your standard stuff without counting money because it's just a pain in the butt to keep track of it, especially because we don't have paper or props in front of us that we can use to represent it. So while we play the online game, the way it's going to work to me is you're in town, you're going to pick up your standard stuff. If anyone wants something special, what we'll say is you use your money for that and you will be in the state of less money for now, right? You won't be going to buy anything special. But things like tossing a copper to a poor singing performance or whatever you want to do, that's just part of the flow day to day.
Okay.
So the prices at the general store, the prices at the tavern, they're all average. So you're going to pay an average amount. And because the bartender got a kick out of filling up the novelty stein, he gives you a decent discount. Rather than charging you for 20 drinks, he charges you for like 3.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a way to run a business.
Well, he's having fun with it. This is a big lunch crowd, so he's actually making some money off of lunch.
Fair enough.
Especially with every other sentence coming out of the Dragonborn is, bring another flaming dragon over.
How much are his custom flagons, by the way?
He doesn't sell them, and the way it works is it's like a mug club. If you return often enough, he gets one, and he gets the potter to either put your name or your likeness on it, and it goes up on a shelf. And then when you come in again, you can use your mug.
Gotcha.
But you have to show up enough that he takes a liking to you. There's about 5 mugs up on the shelf.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like having like my booth at a diner.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat.
I'm renting this flagon for the adventure.
I'm renting this one.
I can't think of a practical way to carry that big.
I don't know.
Wear it on his head like a helmet.
It holds over a gallon. I mean, it is a big thing.
I'll stick it somewhere. It's all good.
So let's go right to some of the information for you, Jason. So Bell, between the general store and passing people on the street, and I'm guessing, especially because you carry a badge, you'd stop by the local sheriff's office, which is, think Wild West. It is the local. Well, actually, we'll call them marshal. Is the marshal's office, and there are two people in there. One sitting and just reading, and the other sitting behind I guess what you'd call it is a makeshift desk. It's not in the best shape. Like when the wind blows, it creaks, and it's inside. So the place is kind of not all that important to them, apparently. But anyway, between the marshal, the general store, and just people that you introduce yourself to around the town, you find that the two adventurers that came through were actually well-known adventurers from a city. Gosh, I don't have it in front of me. What was the city all the way to the west?
Barillas.
It's Barillas, northwest up there, right? Yep. So they came from Barillas, and they were well-known adventurers. I'll think of some names, but you recognize one of the names, and yes, it was somebody who was known as an adventurer. And apparently they kind of breezed through town in an afternoon, dropped a bunch of money, picked up some supplies, some fresh arrows and some water skins and what have you, and then just headed off into the mountains as confident as could be. And nobody's heard from them since. Two human males, both pretty much average. One bright blonde hair, the other one bald.
All right. After that, I would just go to the general store. I just want to get, like I said, just a regular jacket that's a little bit thicker in case it gets cold, and then a grappling hook with a thing for climbing. And that's it. And then head back to the Get Lit Tavern.
The Get Lit.
Yeah. And I do want to ask the bartender, though, are any of the 5 people who he has from his Stein collection up there, are any of those ones maybe famous adventurers that went up into the mountains, or are those all just locals?
These 4 on the sides are locals, but this one in the middle, you notice it's a little bit taller. That was the guy who he actually never came into the tavern, but he was known as somebody who was said to have returned from the Mountains of the Lost. But I never saw the guy myself, and this is kind of I guess you'd say a stick figure likeness. And aside from that, somebody else gave me this little symbol to put on it, and you see like a cog with the daggers on it.
Okay, all right. Bell is.
If I remembered that right, it's the.
Yeah, you did. Bell is very intrigued and is all right. And so this person left. How long ago would you say this person left and then was rumored to come back? Was it years, months?
Well, Jason, what was the timing of when Agent Zero did this? Because that's how long.
It was roughly about 4.5 years ago.
There you go.
Okay.
The mug's been up there for about 4 years after the story circulated enough, and it interests other adventurers enough when they glance at it to bring up the story, and it's kind of like a little marketing thing for him.
So technically, he could have been in the tavern, and the guy wouldn't have known anyway, right? If he's
at the time, yeah,
he could be there right now.
He could.
He could be me. He could be that guy pointing a bell.
He could be this giant mug.
So let's go right to we're getting to showtime. What does what would be a 3-hour show for him? Give kind of a description of what because I think everyone was coming back for the show. So give a description of what people see. And he does have, by the way, there's a fireplace to one side that's decorative because everything's made out of wood. And there's some painted wooden fire in there, which looks really nice, but it's all fake. But right in front of that is this little 6x6 stage that's set a little higher. So that's where they usually will have their traveling performing bards.
Yeah. So would there be a table up there already, or would it just be empty?
It would be, I think of a stand-up comedian kind of thing. There's a bar stool up there with a cup of water or whatever it is you need.
Okay, so he would have dragged the table up there to place down his small drum and his flute while he played his lute most of the night, just singing songs and then telling stories about the travelers and adventurers that have shown up in his inn previously, and then he would switch instruments after a little while, play maybe a solemn flute song close to the end of the night, and then pick up the drum and just start banging it to get everyone going again at the end of the night, and then throw it down, pick up his lute again, and finish the night strong with a
Bell's fully into it here
exciting song.
During the slow
Power
song.
ballad, yeah.
Has a little bit of a matchup with the tinderbox and just is waving it back and forth during the slow songs.
Play Freebird.
Freebird.
Turn it up.
Trying to help you get the crowd into.
True
I'm
to
definitely screaming, yelling, like, yeah, every time he's done, try to hype everybody else up so he can make some extra cash for us.
There you go. So true to the bartender's word, the place actually is busy. So come dinner time, there's a lot of people sitting there eating while you're providing the entertainment, and the whole place is pretty packed for that. But afterwards, so it probably seats about 40 people. And after that, it's, there's also standing room. All the seats are full. The bar's pretty full. There's people waiting to get drinks, that kind of thing. The place is hopping. And there are plenty of people that are just tossing tips up. Do you have a tip jar, or would they just be throwing coins at your feet?
Probably at my feet, because like I said, I had almost nothing when I showed up in the town. So
just because I feel like I got a good description out of you about how this goes, during the show, you gather enough money that you can go ahead and equip yourself with standard stuff before you guys head out.
Sweet.
Nice.
One of the things
good.
the bartender tells you at the end of the night, as he makes sure you've gotten enough of the take, he tells you, it was a really good touch playing that old standard a couple of times. So people really got into that.
Yes, it was a pleasure to play and entertain everybody. And the classics are never to steer me wrong. So
cool. So as we get towards the
I'd gladly play here anytime. Sorry, forget it.
No problem. As we get towards the end of the night, when you're getting ready to go to bed, you look out the window and you see the end of the episode.
Excellent.
So we're gonna.
Oh God, it's coming right for us.
We're gonna cut this one here. So I'm gonna stop the recording. We can all say, bye.
More Planet Dragons.
Adios.
The preceding podcast was brought to you by onejoeyoung. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com.